Hey guys, this is Mel, and I'm back to talk about Legends of Tomorrow, episode 601, titled Ground Control to Sara Lance, which premiered Sunday, May 2nd, 2021 on the CW. Huge spoiler alert. If you haven't seen the episode already, please go do so first, and then come back and see what I have to say about the episode. My other video reminders are up on screen, so take a moment to remind yourselves of those. I'm recording, roughly 40 minutes after the episode is aired, and it has been a very long time since we've seen Legends, so I'm glad to see the team back together, kind of, sort of, since they're missing one of their own, technically two, which we'll get right into it, but let's see where this takes us. So, what happened in this episode? Also, I'm going to try to do this in less than 20 minutes, but I'm not going to time it. I'm just going to look at my recording clock. But what happened in this episode? So timeline-wise, it's pretty much the morning after the events of 514, which is the season finale, which ended off in London of 1977 because everybody's waking up either hungover or kind of divided off after that concert that Charlie was singing at, and then Sara got abducted. Anyway, so we're pretty much just the morning after. The huge episode reminder I'm going to say is space travel. I mean, it's not really new in the Arrowverse because of Supergirl, but it is new in regards to Legends. I mean, technically you could technically count what happened in season 1 with the whole Thanagarians threat with Vandal Savage and him being their, I guess, the protector, but we didn't actually go into space at that time. Anyways, moving on, the villain. I mean, technically, I guess I'll say Kayla, the main alien behind Sara's abduction. So we'll leave it at that. But the episode breakdowns is pretty much split by location because we have storyline 1 dealing with the Legends team trying to locate Sara, and then the second storyline is pretty much in space with Sara trying to deal with what the hell is happening to her and her abduction. So with the first storyline, we see Ava trying to be the team leader and try to pull everybody together to find Sara. So her and Nate stay on board. He's there to kind of be her emotional support before she kind of breaks from having the love of her life being lost in space. So meanwhile, while they're holding down the fort, Bayrod and Mick go and try and find Spooner, who was a girl that was abducted by aliens as a child, and she can now claims to hear communication after something got implanted in her head. Though by the end of the episode, Gideon does not see any device in her brain scan. So there's something fishy going off there, but Spooners can still hear these alien communications that no one else can. And then also, meanwhile, while they're trying to find someone who can actually speak to aliens and find a way to communicate them, we got Constantine, Zari, and Astra looking into a magical way to communicate with aliens, which leads them to needing to find Gary, who's connected, which will tie into specifically with the second story with Sara's adventures in space. She meets Spartacus in one of the containment units just like hers before they find another alien species that's also locked up. And then Sara finds out that the two aliens running the ship are Kayla and Gary, who is actually an alien and been masquerading as a human this whole time. So there's that. So she's trying to commandeer the ship. Sarah's now trying to commandeer the ship so she can use it to make her way back home to Earth. And that first step is getting Kayla away out of the captain's seat with Gary's help. Now, last moments of the episode show Kayla and some alien containment units, or what we're assuming are aliens, falling into the temporal zone through the Legends viewpoint. And now all these different aliens are now falling into the timeline, which is now how the new focus of the season will be, as the Legends cleaning up these alien anomalies in the timeline now. And they're going to try, not only are they cleaning them up because they're not supposed to be there, but with each alien find, they're hoping it could help them find Sara's location. Meanwhile, the last moment for Sara was Sara and Gary failing to travel through the wormhole that they needed to get into the same, I guess, area as Earth, because right now they're kind of far away. Now, tidbit-wise, we have David Bowie's concert video of Charlie's performance with her band, And then as part of that video, we see him talking to Sara. And this is when the Legends team rewatch this video, this is where they find out not only Sara's abduction, but they also find out about Sara's plans to propose to Ava. So there's that. We also get in this episode Constantine and Zari hooking up again. He calls it a fling. Don't know what she calls it, but she definitely has him secretly starting a juice cleanse when Astra brings it up. Don't know what's going to be brewing between the two of them there. But I think this is second, third time they've hooked up? Maybe? It's been a very long time since season 5. Anyways, we also get Astra wanting to try to be a normal human now that she is mortal. But she doesn't want to get roped into all the different missions that the Legends team keep pulling her into. So we'll see where that goes. We also have Nathan trying to deal with OG Zari now being trapped in a totem, because if she were out of the totem, that puts Bayrod's life in jeopardy, because if she exists, he can't exist because they're from 2 different timelines. So there's that. And then we find out that Ava's plan A to find Sara was to contact the DoD, but that fails because it was destroyed in 2020 due to Ramakant's attack, which happened at the very end, of season 5 of Supergirl. But Alex Danvers was also mentioned, and the brief hookup that she had with Sara during the Crisis on Earth X crossover at the West Island wedding. So there's that with all those fun tidbits. Now, most shocking moment of the episode, let's go with that. The fact that Gary was always an alien. When at first we saw that chrysalis kind of like shell in his room, I thought maybe like Gary found the spell with all the alien spells, and then maybe he did something that accidentally transformed him into some buggy creature thing. And that was going to disgust me like even more, where he was a human, and then his curiosity ended up with him becoming like a half human, half insect hybrid kind of thing, which freaks me out. But then to find out that no, Gary has always been an alien sent to Earth to find the best of the best, and that he used to eat aliens, and then he fell in love with humans, and now he couldn't finish his missions. Like, that was a huge shock. I mean, like, shit, Gary. Wow. So, like, I have to rethink everything about you now. And be like, wow. But anyways, that was a huge shock there. It was definitely not even expecting that. But let's move on to top 3 favorite moments. First one, Sara and Ava. Basically, the proposal itself. You get the video revealing, a drunk Sara revealing to David Bowie that she plans to propose to her girlfriend that night, which kind of little pisses me off that the abduction interrupted that. But her excitement and the joy of having that plan and being prepared with the ring, and then to see the team's reaction to that plan on the video. First off, they were all not expecting it. I mean, it seemed like none of them were in on the plan from their reactions, I think. So that was sweet, just having them all, their initial reactions, and all of them looking to Ava. And then you want to be like, she's like really thrilled at the idea, but they're also horrified in the sense because this was supposed to be a good moment, and then all of a sudden it's now not happening because Sara is now missing, and she can't really celebrate the fact that her girlfriend wants to marry her, and now instead she has to focus on finding her first before they can get to that good moment. So, but I really like the proposal. And then when Ava had the opportunity to kind of astral project to Sara's location, which she was kind of freezing in her containment cell, their brief exchange and how Ava was telling her yes, that she will marry her once Sara gets back home, and that was enough for Sara to take out the I'm assuming it's a diamond ring, because she uses it cut through her containment, and the diamond is the toughest material out there. It's just like that strength, and like using her voice and her conviction, that reassured yes, I want to marry you kind of thing, was just enough for Sara to fight through that freezing cold that she was being forced into and fight to get back to Ava. It's just like, yes, finally. And I'm wondering now if the season's going to end with them getting married. I don't know. Because would you push that something into like another season? I don't know. It'd be interesting. But if they get married, I better have people from Arrow coming over to be on the side of Sarah's like extended family. You know what I mean? Anyways, sidetrack. Another favorite I had was the team up between Sara and Gary. That was just fun, just the dynamic in itself, because Gary's a super fan, and to find out, well, him being a super fan is kind of what saved everybody's lives, with him like not taking them and like having humanity be destroyed, right? But it was just very interesting to get that dynamic, and it was even funny because Gary's this alien who could pretty much eat Sara, and yet he still lets her tell him what to do, and like he recognizes her as like she's the captain, like she's the one that she has the plan, and like it was just interesting that even though we find out that Gary is this alien, that dynamic they have with each other, it's still there, and it was just fun to see like Gary's entertaining. And to just have him be able to be in these scenes was just like, thank you. And then like with Sara and just wanting to keep him on track of like, no, Gary, don't talk about the Avalanche beginning. Talk about the beginning of your mission on Earth, kind of a thing. It was funny. It was highly entertaining. And then another favorite I did have was actually with Mick Rory, and kind of being, I guess you can say, supportive in both Ava and Sara. I mean, I don't know. It was just kind of funny when like everybody was kind of crazy on the Legends team, and then Mick was kind of the one. It's like kind of blaming everybody, the fact that, well, Sarah's missing because all of you weren't paying attention, kind of a thing, and how he seemed the most focused out of everybody, of like, yeah, Sarah's gone, we got to deal with this, or like buck up and fix this, kind of a thing. And then also him saying like, well, Sarah's gone. Like, no, like him recognizing that, like, well, the team worked best with Sara as the captain because shit got done, and he was just gonna wallow in drinking himself because it showed loyalty to him of like Sara being his captain. And then on the other hand, you have that great opening scene between Mick going through the ship, seeing all these different punks, as he called them, pretty much being hungover in a mess around the Wave Rider, and then to find Ava passed out over the toilet, and then calling her a punk, and then their whole dynamic between each other, and how I don't know, I really love their dynamic. Maybe it's because that one time where they both time traveled to do that whole montage with him and his daughter, and kind of making her like Aunt Ava in a sense. It was very interesting. So just for me, Mick is just like, his dynamic between both women is just like highly entertaining. And then like him just wanting to burn things, it's just like, I love Mick. It's just like, yeah, that's pretty much the level of like he's done with people's shit, kind of a thing. So that's always fun to see. But let's move on to top 3 peeve moments. The only peeve I have is because they didn't include it, is that I really wanted Sara to slip up over the fact that I wanted her to slip up to Gary about her plans to propose to Ava. Especially when Gary let it slip that Kayla was his fiance, and that he was thinking like, oh, maybe our engagement is broken. And then Sarah's like, wait, you're engaged? And then like I was kind of hoping like maybe because Gary is an Ava Lance super shipper, I kind of wanted the whole engagement thing to be slipped in there to get Gary's reaction. So I'm a little bit peeved that I didn't get that. I hope I do get it at some point, because I would love for Gary to just be a stand-in for all the Avalanche fans that watch the show, and just have his reaction be like very like over the top and like squealing, like super fan type thing. Like I want that reaction from Gary about it. So peeve that I missed it, and I'm hoping that we still get it in the future. So fingers crossed. But let's move on to random questions very quickly. First one, was Gary's true species actually named in the show? Because I know they kept saying alien creature and stuff like that, but did they actually give a name for what he was? Was it in any of the documents? I mean, we saw those different symbols and stuff. Because otherwise, I'm thinking Thanagarian, but we never actually saw what a Thanagarian looks like in season 1, so I don't know if that's actually the case, or if this is something completely different. Second question. If Astra doesn't want to be on Legends mission, is she still a series regular? I mean, or is she just special guest star? Especially if she's being Constantine's roommate back on Earth in London instead of having a room on the ship. I think that's the impression I got. So I don't know. So there's that. Third question. If Sara failed to return to Earth in this episode, do you think the season is going to be split between Earth trying to find, like the Legends team trying to find Sara, and then and then Sarah's own space travels to try to get back to them? Like, how many episodes do you think will be split, going that split route between them? Or do you think by the end of next episode we would get that reunion together? Or do you think it's going to take the whole season, all 15 episodes, before Sara is reunited with Ava and the rest of the team? I don't know. That'd be tough. I mean, I can understand why they would separate it, because then that's one way to kind of like keep certain bubbles due to COVID regulations for filming. But at the same time, it's like, as characters, it's like, no, don't separate them. Like, you know what I mean? So there's that. But let's go to predictions very quickly. Based off the promo for 602, we have an alien hunt to find a clue on Sara's location. That's what the Legends team is focusing on. We have Spooner being a part of the team for this mission. I don't know if she's a permanent part of the team or if she's just temporary or something. I don't know. But then apparently the frenzy is from the alien sauce. First off, if that's true, that's kind of a huge spoiler to put in the promo, and that's kind of something I think they should have left out, but that's just me. But based off the synopsis, though, it reads, with Spooner on board, Ava hopes that her special abilities will help lead them to locate the aliens spread out on the timeline, which could ultimately lead them to Sara. The Legends soon find themselves tracking an alien in 1950 San Bernardino and having to figure out what is making the town go on a feeding frenzy. Zari lets Behrad know she is ready to use the totem, but Behrad isn't ready to share it, causing tension between them. Meanwhile, after crash landing, Sara tries to figure out a plan and runs into none other than Amelia Earhart, who could be her ticket home. Mick, Nate, Constantine, Gary, Ava, and Asher also appear. Crash land. Maybe they're going to land on that pink planet we saw when the ship didn't make it through the wormhole. That'd be interesting. Just to also be on a different planet to see like how like, I mean, we've been on a different planet with Supergirl when they went to Argo, and then kind of remnants of like what Krypton was like, and then you got a little bit of what the Phantom Zone kind of is right now. But it'll be interesting to see what this pink, I'm assuming it's the pink planet because that's the one that was like very predominant in that whole background scene. That'll be very interesting to see. But I'm excited. It's also going to be very interesting to see Legends go on this space traveling route, especially with Supergirl. Like they said in this episode, the DoD and Supergirl have their jurisdictions when it comes to aliens. But so it'll be very interesting to see how the Legends deal with that. If so, I'm hoping we get Supergirl characters coming over. I highly doubt that due to COVID and trying to keep things in their own specific bubbles when it comes to filming. But I'm going to, if anything, maybe phone calls to help, maybe some of Brainy's giving some help about all these different alien life forms or something. I don't know. I feel like they do need some DoD or at least something from the Super Friends when it comes to aliens that I'm hoping to see. But otherwise, I'm excited to see what this season has in store. But that's all I have to say about this episode, guys. What did you guys think of this episode? What did you guys like about it? What do you think will happen next? Let me know in the comments down below. Love to hear your thoughts, theories, opinions about all that good stuff. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and check my other videos if you haven't done so already. Click that notification bell if you want to be notified of the next time I post a video. Also, don't forget to follow me on Tumblr. Read blog, promos, web clips, quotes, GIFs, synopses, news, all that good stuff, all found in one place. Go check that out. Link is down below. As well as my WordPress account. Anything I post online is connected to WordPress. A little more organized, a little more detailed, but still work in progress as well. Link for that is down below as well. And I'm going to say that is pretty much it, guys. I'm still deciding whether or not I'm going to do every episode for Legends, or maybe I'm going to double up, depending on my schedule. So we'll have to wait and see about that. But I definitely wanted to talk about the premiere on its own. So I hope you guys check back in to see what I have to say about the next Legends episode. Or if there's other shows I talk about, go check those out as well in the meantime. But until next time, guys, this is Mel. Wish you all a great day, great week wherever you are. And I actually meet my time. So I'm going to go celebrate with some cake. Talk to you later, guys. Bye for now.